Hey everybody, welcome back to Painting Corners. We are here on episode 3 with my co-host James Rillo.
What's going on, guys?
Our special guest Chase Schultz of the Brewers today. How you doing today, Chase?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Charlie?
I'm doing pretty great. So we're just going to talk to you about your season, preparing for the playoffs, and the hype around you coming back to the league for your first time in a long time, and the building of Advocare Park.
So first off, I just want to get right on into it. First, I think this is the best topic we could possibly talk about is Advocare Park. I think everybody in the league, including you, Charlie, could agree with me when we say Advocare Park's the best park, best field.
No,
ever.
I still think Abbott's is better.
I mean, Ebbets Field is my field for the Dodgers, if you know that unless you've been living under a rock. I mean, I agree with you partially. It's the most historic, but I wouldn't call it the best looking. I think there's no passing Advocare Park.
Definitely.
I think it's perfect.
Agreed.
You and even your family or whatever have put a lot of hard work into that field, and it deserves the number one spot in
all the recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the night I remember? The story is the night I was actually just talking to you on FaceTime, a normal call, and then all of a sudden it turned into we were talking about the wiffle ball league, and
Hey,
it
can I
turned
join the
into
league?
Yeah, it just turned into that. I was like, are you serious? You haven't been in the league in 4 years, you sure? And you were like, yeah, I'll be in it. And here you are, with the best field in the MLWB and a 5-3 record tied for third in a postseason spot. So that's pretty incredible.
I would definitely agree. After such a long hiatus, being able to come back and perform at such a high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with Advocare, they say look good, play good, and that's definitely true with Chase Schultz over here. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about Advocare. So what was going through your mind once you joined back into the league? Were you just like, I want to make a park, let's make this happen? What was your process?
So really, I was thinking about where I could play, because my backyard obviously isn't suitable for a wiffle ball field.
Right.
James very kindly offered to share Abbott's with me, but I was like, I'm going to try to find my own park. So I went on Google Earth and just looked around my neighborhood, just an aerial view. I saw this park that I used to go to when I was a little kid, apparently. My dad told me. And I saw like a small baseball field. There wasn't lines or anything on Google Earth. It was just a field. I was like, I'll go there and stop by and see how it is. And my original plan was to just see how it is, and if it was good, like grass wasn't too bad, it wasn't too unkept. Just put down some bases, bring a chair over, boom, field for me to play on. But it turned out it wasn't very good, the grass. And it was terrible. The field was pretty terrible. And me and James were talking about it, and why would we want to play on a bad field?
Right.
So that's where the idea kind of came from. Hey, why don't we build our own park? All we really need to make it a park is a fence. Just mow the grass, line the field, throw some bases down, boom.
It was like a whole month process. I think the first night you and I both went there. You went there one early morning when like school was still going on, and not real school, like online in like early June. And I think the first time I actually went there, like you and we went there June 12th, I believe was the date. I think it was.
I believe it was somewhere close to that, because Advocare was announced, I would say, at least not even 2 to 3 days after that. So.
Yeah, it's because if you go onto our Instagram page, you would see there's a post of a picture from June 12th of Advocare Park, and then there's a picture from July, I want to say 9th or 10th or something, something like that, or July 8th, 7th, somewhere in that area, which is almost a whole month, and the difference is incredible. I mean, you've got, like, if you look in the first picture, we put, like...
Yeah, there it is. Charlie just pulled it up for me. Hopefully I can pull it up on the podcast, actually. If you look in the first picture, take over, Charlie.
So the field was announced on June 12th, and it was officially finished on July 5th. And the improvement from that first bottom picture right there, that shows this kind of overgrown, just
if you can even call that
plot
a
of
field.
land.
Yeah.
And
it's an abandoned baseball field,
Yeah.
essentially.
I know some. There used to be like some sort of like softball leagues there for like adult softball leagues like years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago. I don't think. I mean, I didn't even know about the field. That's how like irrelevant it was. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew about Advocare Park.
Nobody even goes to that park to.
Nobody goes to it.
And we all have been around it and never even knew that it was there.
Right.
We've never gone to it. We've never explored it.
Which makes it so great. You know, it's a completely new thing. It's like a different world. It's so hidden away. You forget that you're on Century Way in Hamilton Square, New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, you look in like even just the background of the picture, and it's just like with all the trees, especially in like dusk time, all those high trees almost reminds me of the meadows of like MLW.
Yeah, a lot like that, definitely.
So yeah, I definitely think Advocare Park's the best field in the league. You've put a ton of work into that, and you deserve a lot of recognition for that.
I mean, so do you. I mean, it was your lawnmower that we used.
Yeah, it was a long process for the fans that don't know this. The first thing we did to it, Chase and I, like one of the first nights in early June, we went there just to check it out. We like tried to like measure where the bases were going to be. Then that weekend, we put a lawnmower in Chase's dad's pickup truck, took it to the field, and mowed down the entire field to make it look as best as we could. Then a few weeks later, we put down lines, and then eventually the fence, and eventually the Brewers were winning games there. The Brewers are now 3-1 at Advocare Park.
We beat the.
I think you're 5-3.
We beat the Cubs.
Yeah, you were 2-2 before
Angels.
Advocare Park opened up.
And then we beat
the Yanks.
And then we lost to the Yankees.
Yes.
So
3-1, which is one of the best home records in the league, I think.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a picture right now of just from Google Earth, and it's just this big pile of grass.
Yeah.
And looking at that, I really see the improvement, and
yeah,
it just evolved as an area so much. It's really amazing.
I mean, it's so impressive. We have our own landscapers now, right?
Yeah, we
went there the other day.
I don't even know if Charlie knows about this.
I don't.
We went there the other day to play. I believe we played 3 days in a row this week. I think it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, and
Monday and Tuesday, the field, like the grass was.
We were noticing the grass was getting higher. Yeah.
Yeah, because we hadn't mowed it in almost a month, so we were like, okay, you know what, this weekend or whatever, let's go and mow it. I get there. I was the first one to get there Wednesday, just to set up the signs and warm up or whatever. And I get there, and I'm like, this field looks really nice for some reason. I'm looking closer. I'm like, somebody came by and mowed the entire field for us.
That's amazing.
Keep in mind, it's a public park, so somebody must have looked at it and said, "This is nice." They mowed it for us. I mean, whoever did that, thank you. I know you're probably not watching, but
it was probably I think it was that old guy. That
so specific.
No. When we were riding our bikes back, he was like, "Oh, I love to see some kids playing baseball."
Oh, yeah.
Because he lives on Century, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, we've even had, like, there were literally, like, trucks with or cars and everything that would literally stop by at the field, see us playing, and just turn around and leave. It would, like, it's happened a few times where we were like, oh, no, we're, like, this isn't good. They're going to tell us to get off
township
field.
Trucks.
Yeah, township, yeah, right. And we were like, oh, this is it, we're done. And they would just look at us and they drive away.
Wow.
I mean, most kids, like, you tell kids to play outside, and we're doing more than that. We're building wiffle ball fields. So not many kids can say they've done that in our neighborhood. So
true. And just to touch on this once more, I'm looking at a post right now from June 17th from the MLWB Brewers account. Everyone go follow them. Mm-hmm. Just even with the lines on the field, it looks so much different.
Yeah.
And to see the work that was put into it and the care and the effort really means a lot, and it shows that you're committed, which is amazing. And that's just awesome to have that kind of presence in our league.
I think that's also just like to show that you've put in so much work. I feel like this is why I know I said this to Andrew when we filmed the last podcast, but like I think him and you have the most fans out of any team in the league, just because like you guys are fan favorites. You guys go out there, you're funny, you go out there and you play to win too. Mm-hmm. And you put a lot of effort into that field, and just even without the field, you've put in a ton of good work during the season. I mean, 4 years ago, you were on the Northwest Nighthawks.
Yep. Yeah.
You created your own team name. That year was Teams of Two. That is the only fun fact to the fans watching. That is the only season where we have never done MLB names. And so we made up our own team names. I remember we did Teams of Two. I was on the Southern Seagulls. We were knocked down the NLCS by the Northern Knights, who you fell short to in the World Series that year. One win away, and you would have been a World Series champion, which is crazy to think about. But you come back 4 years later, and you're right on that track again. Just a half a game out of second place in the National League, and a great chance to make the postseason and go even further than that.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to go far in the postseason this year. I mean, even if I do make the postseason, obviously I haven't clinched it yet. So it's all up to me and the Rays, really.
You mean the Rockies?
Yeah, the Rockies. Sorry.
Rockies. Yeah.
And to touch on that going into the postseason, you've got a really hard schedule left. And even though it's 2 games, and you're currently sitting at 5-3, you don't have an easy rest of the way. You first play the Mets, and I believe you're at home in that game.
Home to the Mets, on the road to the Rockies. I think even if he's on the road to the Rockies, I believe that game is still going to be played at Advocare Park, because why the heck not?
Yeah.
Except the Rockies will be the home team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, these are 2 huge games for the Brewers. You got currently 5-3. You're 5-3. You got the 5-2 Mets. If you win that game, you jump ahead of them. And then you're still tied with the 5-3 Rockies, who you play in the last game of the season. If you and the Rockies are tied going into the last game of the season, that is going to be a game to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you've got. I think this is the closest playoff race we've ever had.
It really couldn't be. It couldn't be any closer.
The only way it could be closer is if it was a full tie, and
that's not possible, because there's only 2 teams that have played 8 games, and they're tied. The Mets have played 7. Phillies have played 9.
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies, I know this doesn't have to do with you or the Brewers, Chase, but the Phillies will be playing the Mets, which is another huge game.
Absolutely huge.
Tyler Wagner's of the Phillies.
Rivalry as well.
I'm sorry, what?
Rivalry as well.
Yeah, huge rivalry. That although the Mets are an expansion team, the Wagner twin rivalry has gone back a long way. Even though Dylan Wagner's a rookie, he's been a sub in this league for a long time, and these two know each other very well, obviously. The first game of the season was not how the fans expected it. The Mets won the game 8-0 in their first franchise win in MLWB history. Dylan Wagner hit, I believe, 1 or 2 home runs in that game. It was a beatdown. 8-0 was your final. The Phillies, I think, had 1 hit.
Yeah.
It was, and that was I think the saddest part was, with all due respect to how he's had an incredible season, especially offensively. That was the last game at State Farm Park.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most historic fields in history. And trust me, I'm getting somewhere with this. I'm not just going off about the Phillies. He lost to a rookie in his last game in his home field's history.
Let alone not just a rookie, but his twin brother.
Yeah.
So not only are you hearing about it right then, but you're gonna hear about it throughout your house for a long time.
Yeah, and he had to. Just like you said, he's gonna have to hear about. I'm sure he heard about that a lot. But Tyler, if you're listening to this, I know this is. We're not saying this to put the Phillies down or like discourage them.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying this that.
Here's where I'm getting this. That is going to give the Phillies a lot of momentum going into Phillies at Mets in the 10th game of the season for the Phillies. That is going to be huge. I know Tyler Wagner, I mean, he was not happy losing to the Phillies the first time. I'm sorry, losing to the Mets the first time. It's going to be a huge game. And I'm saying this because it's huge for you, Chase. A Phillies win would put them at 6-4. And the Mets would go down to 5-3, and they'd be tied with you for second, third, and fourth.
Wow.
Which is insane. We could be, technically, I think it's possible to see a 4-way tie in the National League, which has never happened before.
That would be absolutely bonkers.
That would be insane.
So-
you got Dodgers who have clinched. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say this game has just so much riding on it. And it's just gonna be such an interesting game to watch because I believe the teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah. We've already seen some matchups between the Rockies, Phillies, and Mets. The Rockies beat the Mets 1-0, and the Rockies beat the Phillies 1-0. Both games were at Ebbets Field. Both great games, but the Rockies came out on top in both of them. There's no reason. I believe it probably will be a 2v2 if the Brewers play when the Brewers play the Mets and Brewers. It's going to be an incredible game, such an important game. I know the fans are excited for it. I'm excited for it. My season's over, and I'm excited for it, even though it doesn't even matter for me. I know Charlie's excited for it, and he's in the American League.
Most definitely.
So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. We've got, what's today's date?
Today is currently the 11th.
Yeah, we're filming this on the 11th. It should be out by tonight, but if not, probably the 12th, something like that. So if it's the 11th, we have exactly 2 weeks left in the regular season. 5 games remain. So we've got some huge games, and it's going to be crazy, especially for the Brewers.
The Brewers were an expansion team last season with Dylan Yeager, actually, who now owns the Yankees. He's the team captain of the Yankees this season. So it was there was a lot of pressure on the Brewers going into the season. You saw the Brewers last season. They were the only team in the National League to miss the playoffs. Finished with a 6-10 record, started off the year 0-4, almost came back, finished a game out of the playoffs behind the 7-9 Phillies. And so the Brewers have never made the playoffs. This would be their first time. So I just want to ask you, what can you say to the Brewer fans that follow us or follow you? What can you say to them to maybe encourage them to have hope for the postseason in 2020?
Just look at how we've been going so far. 5-3 record. I've only got blown out twice. Twice, yeah.
I mean,
but
what were the blowouts?
Again,
You got
the Cubs and the Yankees.
The Yankee one was that's a debatable blowout. You were being blown out. You made it an 8-5 game. Final score is 10-5. Not that bad. We've seen worse this season, but okay, continue.
Yeah, but just look at the way we've been playing, and lately, because of the opening of Advocare Park, I, as the team captain, I want to do well on the field that I put me and my family and James put so much work into, and I think that'll push us forward to perform even better at that field. All we gotta do is not lose our heads, and I think we can go far in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've proved so far, and I'm sure Charlie would agree with me when I say this, you've proved so far that you can pretty much compete with anybody in this league.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you beat Andrew, who beat Tyler. Tyler's one of the best players ever in this league. I know we're talking a lot about Tyler, but, I mean, you've proved a lot this season. You've beaten a few good teams here and there. You beat the Yankees. Are now 4-5, tied for second in the American League, just a half a game out of first. You split a doubleheader with them. You split with the Cubs. You beat the Astros. You beat the first place Astros in one game, 2-0.
I just want to say, I know personally from playing against you that once you get a hang of the ball, like once you are in your groove, you're not losing.
Yeah.
You're gonna ride that momentum, and it really seems like you have this season, especially with the building of Advocare.
Yeah.
It feels that really sparked your season because you sat at what, I believe 2-1.
He was 1-2.
1-2, and then that.
Yeah. You were 1-1. Sorry to interrupt, but you were 1-1, and you got blown out by the Cubs. And the same day, you beat the Astros to improve to 2-2. So you were 1-2.
Oh, okay.
And then the building of Advocare really kind of just changed everything. Really, everything. It seemed like you just flipped that light switch. From just going from you were a really good team before. And it feels like after Advocare was built, there was a new sense of confidence, a new sense of
Absolutely.
hope. And it feels like you just rode that, and you're killing it now.
Yeah.
Like we said, you're sitting at 5-3, and you've got 2 rough games, but they're winnable. They're rough, but they're easily winnable. You just gotta go out there and play well. So, if you do make the playoffs, which you have a very good chance of, don't want to give too much away, but what is a slight strategy that you have to finish off the season and go into the postseason?
Honestly, just make sure that I pitch well. You know, once I start hitting the chair, the strike zone, consistently, I'm pretty much unhittable if I get some speed on it. Not to toot my own horn. And then it just is down to hitting, which is down to the opposition pitcher. And there's nothing you can really do to prepare for that. I mean, you could watch previous games to study how they pitch, but other than that, there's really nothing you can do. Just down to when you get to the field and when you're up to bat. And so yeah, really, just my strategy is just play how I've been playing. Hope other results go my way, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Like you said, you're pitching. You're pretty much unhittable when you're on. You've pitched 8 games this season for the Brewers. In 2 of those games, you gave up 10 runs. Besides that, you've pretty much been dominant on the hill. Especially since Advocare Park opened up, you've had 1 bad game pitching wise. Besides that, let's see. You play second game against the Cubs. You won 5-4. You gave up 2 runs in the second inning, 2 runs in the ninth. Keep in mind, that's a 9-inning wiffle ball game. You've never pitched a 9-inning wiffle ball game before, and that's really good considering that. That's really good considering you've never pitched a 9-inning wiffle ball game. You only gave up 4 runs, and especially someone against Andrew Shorey, who's like one of the best left-handed hitters in this league. So
One-handed.
yeah,
One-handed
lefty.
That's another thing I just want to touch on real quick. You especially have this momentum due to the building of Advocare, but it feels like other teams are starting to get that new sense of confidence as well. You had Andrew Shorey, who played as a sub in that game and hit a one-handed grand slam.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely hysterical because, like, he's walking up to the plate swinging one-handed. What are you gonna expect from him? And he goes out and hits a bomb. It just feels like this development of this park has really changed the league, and definitely for the better.
People wanna play well on a good field. Want to crush one over the nice fence.
Yeah.
I know so many people, including myself, wanted to get that first home run at Advocare Park. Eventually, it was Andrew. Advocare Park, fun fact, is the biggest park in the league. It's the nicest one in my opinion, but I mean that's just an opinion. But the fact is, it's the biggest one. I believe it's 90 feet in center, about 75 in left, and about 67 in right.
About that, yeah.
So it's a little bit of a lefty's park.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean it's an incredible field. You've done a great job on it, and yeah. So Yeah. You got anything else, Charlie?
I just want to touch on one last thing. You have that 5-3 record as a pitcher. You're currently sitting second, pitching record wise.
Yeah, I forgot to touch on
You're in my opinion one of the best pitchers in the league. You've got to be top 5.
Thank you.
You've been hitting well. You have 27 RBIs, which is great. After such a long hiatus, just absolutely amazing. But you're still looking for that eluding home run. When do you feel that one eluding home run coming?
Well, I guess when somebody lobs a slow pitch at me, right down the middle. I'm not a great hitter.
I mean, you've proved that you're a good hitter. You got multiple RBIs, and you've scored several runs this year. 5 against the Yankees in Game 1, 5 against the Yankees in Game 2, 5 against the Brewers in Game 2. 2 against...
You mean 5 against the Cubs?
Cubs, I'm sorry, not the Brewers. Yeah. 2 against the Astros. Even some of the games you lost, like the one you lost against the Yankees, you still scored 5 runs. I mean...
Yeah.
Also had that game against the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
At Abbott's.
Oh, yeah.
Almost came back from, 9-2?
Scored 7 runs.
Yeah, 9-2.
So, yeah, I mean, you still need that power, like Charlie was saying about the home runs. You still need the power to hit the home runs, but other than that, you've been great all season. And, yeah, anything else, Charlie?
Great words from a great player.
Yeah.
Good luck to you in the postseason.
Thank you so much, guys.
Once again, just like Charlie said, good luck to you. Hopefully you can make the postseason. I hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us today, Chase. And fans, thank you for watching episode 3 of Pitching Corners. Next one should be out soon. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.